room. So, okay, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for coming. I'm just going to make sure that I have sound on here. And tonight we're going to have a little chat about stress and weight loss. And I know that there is so much that we can talk about when it comes to hormones, hormonal balancing, thyroid hormone, cortisol hormone, and how that relates to like our whole body. But for lack of for keeping this simple and short and bite-sized so you can actually take in some information, we're going to do like a general overview. I'm not an endocrinologist. The hormonal system in our body is so complex. But I'm here as a pharmacist, as someone who deals with people all the time who come in and ask me about ways that they can reduce their stress, help with weight loss. I know that kind of like what, and someone who suffered from it myself, I know that that sometimes is what keeping us stuck is the underlying condition of stress. And so we're going to chat a little bit about stress, insulin resistance, a little bit about like kind of thyroid hormones, gut health, and some real easy, tangible things that you can take away today and start doing. So the first thing is I have my papers here, so I stay on track. So if you see me looking down, it's because I don't know all of this. I do some research, I compile it all, and I make notes, right? But it's a passion of mine, which is why I love educating on it. So I'm a pharmacist. I specialize in helping women understand the really deep connection between stress, metabolism, and hormones. So we're going to dive a little bit into that tonight. Science behind stress, gut health, and hormonal balances, why sometimes weight loss can feel impossible. And if you've been struggling anything with stubborn weight, weight gain, not being able to like lose it, low energy, disrupted sleep, even digestive issues, this masterclass is going to be for you. So by the end, I hope you will have a clear understanding of how to take control of your health and metabolism using strategies that will work with your body rather than against it. So we're going to break this down into key areas: cortisol and its impact on weight, insulin resistance and metabolism, the role of gut health, and how hormones like thyroid and estrogen can influence fat storage. And so I'm really passionate about this because I've myself, just a little backstory, was experiencing a high level of stress. And unbeknownst to me, even as a pharmacist, I did not realize that cortisol was so impactful in so many areas of your life. My weight gain, my inability to lose weight, my sleep being disrupted, my hair was falling out. I was like always restless and anxious, right? I thought, well, I'm just an anxious person. But what I didn't realize is that I'm not really an anxious person. I had a very high chronic stress level for probably most of my life, not even realizing it. And it's just my cortisol has always been so chronically elevated. I'll have to be honest with you, I didn't really know how to do anything any other way because I didn't know what it felt like to feel kind of like normal. And it wasn't until I honestly made that key connection through education with my Arbonne business, to be honest, because as a pharmacist, we're not really taught a whole bunch about those specific hormones. It's just a gap in our kind of education system. We're taught about vitamins and minerals, but really how this is all connected, it's not in our education. And then it was really through my Arbonne business and getting really diving into health and wellness and women's health that I actually made the connection myself. And boy, oh boy, did I feel stupid. However, I would rather have known this and make a connection and start working on it than just continue onwards with nothing. And I'm going to kind of go a little bit about what I did. So the other connection that I made was why I was struggling with weight loss. And I was probably like most women, kind of like my hormones were changing. I was done having kids. And things just like really weren't the same. Like you probably get fat storage in different places where you never had before. The things that you used to do, maybe when you were in your 20s or early 30s, don't work anymore. Because, to think about it, like you would probably just stop eating, like cutting your calories, do some more cardio, not have dessert, and like probably you would lose 10 to 15 pounds quite easily. Like I know I did, like before Harley and I got married right here. I was 156 pounds and I lost 15 pounds in about 8 weeks. I did a Jillian Michaels workout on a DVD and I didn't eat dessert and I ate a little bit less supper. I was 29 and I lost 15 pounds and I put on muscle very easily. So I tried to do that same strategy probably about 5 years ago. I was like, I'm just going to do these Jillian Michaels. I'm going to eat less dessert. And you know what? Nothing changed. In fact, I got really frustrated and nothing changed. The reason being is that we cannot do what we did back then. We have to approach things from like more of like a metabolic, I feel like nutritional aspect. When we're in our like 30s, 40s, like kind of like because we've had all those changes in our body, this cortisol changes, where we've our hormonal things have changes that we've gone on. So I feel like it's really good hope for us to know that we can approach it from a little bit of a different perspective and still get the results we want. And that's all it is. Approaching it from a different perspective, okay? And the perspective is by working with our body more metabolically as opposed to, cutting out the calories, hitting the cardio, doing all that. We're just going to look at it a little different way. So, why is cortisol, why it's keeping you stuck? So, it's a hormone that your body releases in response to stress. And the thing about cortisol, guys, is that your body does not know whether you're running from a tiger or if you're just like reading a really kind of sensitive email. It doesn't know the difference. It will emit the same amount of cortisol in response to that stress response that you experience, no matter what it is. So you're running from a lion, you're reading something that's upsetting, you're jumping into a cold lake, doing those cold plunges. Those are really bad for you, FYI. If you have high cortisol, your body doesn't know the difference. So it does play a critical role in regulating energy, metabolism, and fat storage in short bursts. It's very helpful and it helps you react quickly to danger and provides energy. However, when this becomes chronic, your cortisol levels remain elevated, and that can lead to some really significant health issues, inflammation, thyroid imbalances, and the big one, weight gain or inability to lose weight. So how does this infect weight? So the first one is fat storage. So cortisol will signal your body to store fat, particularly around the abdomen. It's a protective mechanism. Okay. And sometimes it can be referred to as a stress belly. Okay. That thing right there, it's protecting you. Okay. Because it's probably thinking that you're in danger. And so it's thinking like you're in danger, your cortisol high. We got to preserve everything that you might need it for later, right? But you don't need it for later. So also it starts to have a suppression on your metabolism. So your body will prioritize again survival over weight loss, slowing down your metabolic function. So see how like kind of approaching it from that perspective is really going to get you much farther than just like I said, the cutting the calories and the increased cardio. So increased cravings. So it leads to cravings for sugar and processed carbs because your body's looking for sources of quick energy. So think about those moments when you're stressed. Like I'm sure we've all had those at work where you're like, or something at home, like stress eating, binge eating at night, raiding the cookie cupboard, raiding the snack drawer at 3 o'clock. Like those are all things that are signaling your body from stress that I need some energy. And probably why you're experiencing that at 3 o'clock is something that's happened metabolically to your body, aka not enough protein, skipping breakfast, eating a donuts at 10 o'clock. It's all in relation to that because now you're not having an even keel blood sugar, which we're going to talk about in just a sec. Blood sugar dysregulation, here it goes. So cortisol raises blood sugar levels, which leads to insulin resistance and making it even harder to lose weight. And I'm going to cover insulin resistance really briefly here. So how can you kind of regulate this and reduce stress weight gain? So basically managing stress through adaptogens. So I'm going to cover a little bit about the topic and then a little bit about the management, and I'll kind of bring it all together afterwards. Just to let you know how it's going to flow. So managing stress through adaptogens. So ashwagandha and L-theanine. That's what I'm sipping on right now. It's found in Arbonne's Intercom, or any kind of ashwagandha and L-theanine supplement. There's also one with rhodiola. There's one that I really like that I do recommend quite often to my pharmacy clients called Ortho Adapt, and it's rhodiola. It's rhodiola, ashwagandha, and I believe maybe it doesn't have L-theanine in it, but it's a really great one. You can get it at Nature's Fair, and you can even add it on with the Intercom. I have no problem recommending things other than Arbonne, but I love Arbonne because it's worked for me and so many of my clients. So these really help build your body resilience to stress, meaning you can handle it better. Your body has a better response to it and helps lower your cortisol levels naturally. Big thing about ashwagandha and L-theanine is these are scientific backed herbs. So we have studies on ashwagandha and L-theanine. We know that it works. So I'm so confident in recommending that to people because I know you're going to get results from it because there's science behind it. And I'm a science geek, so I love knowing that it's actually going to be beneficial. Which some herbs and vitamins don't have anything. So we kind of like, we don't know if they really do work well for you. Prioritizing sleep. Poor sleep keeps cortisol levels high and disrupts weight loss efforts. So I even had a friend of mine who said, you know what, I'm doing all the things. Like she's taking the intercom, she's doing like the exercise, she's eating well, but she's like, I don't sleep at all. She has a young child, a toddler, who doesn't sleep. She's like, I'm up 3 to 4 times at night. I maybe get 4 to 5 hours of sleep, and I'm freaking exhausted. So just to go to show you, like she's doing all the right things, but she has this missing link of sleep, which she knows, which is kind of stopping her from losing any weight. And she's getting a little frustrated. So we're trying to like work on her sleeping situation with her toddler. So you want to really, really aim for at least 7 hours a night. Following, and also if you don't sleep well, here's the thing too, you're probably going to eat more sugary foods to get that energy because your cortisol level's high, and you're probably not going to feel like committing to your exercise. So, which we'll cover in just a sec. So, you need to have a balanced diet. So protein, fiber, and healthy fats with each meal will keep your blood sugar stabilized and not crashing. Movement, like low impact exercise, such as walking and strength training, which are really important to help improve insulin sensitivity. So when it comes to exercise, what we're finding more and more um, with the kind of metabolic, like going, like kind of coupling with the metabolic issues of high cortisol and not being able to lose weight, is that your exercise has to kind of mirror that kind of almost like gentle type of like movement. And by gentle, I mean like intense cardio out. This like those cold, this is something that I really detest. Those like cold plungings, those are so bad for your body if you're in a high state of cortisol because it doesn't know the difference if you're jumping in a lake because you're like because you fell in there because you had an accident, or if you're doing it on purpose. So strength training, like having that like weights, heavy weights that you have a challenge to lift. HIIT is out because it's very stressful on your body. Anything that produces like a large amount of exertion is something that we want to just like, it's not saying that you can never do it, but it's something if you're having this trouble, it's kind of something just to like take a step back on and incorporate more strength training, a low impact cardio like walking, especially outside in nature, and getting in those 10 to 15,000 steps a day is going to actually see you farther until you can kind of get things regulated. So other one here is we're going to talk a little bit about insulin resistance. And so this is really what I kind of call like the hidden weight loss blocker. So it's one of our most powerful hormones in our body, which regulates weight gain and fat storage. So when your body, 1 second, you're going to turn the page. When your body becomes insulin resistant, so what happens is when you eat food, you have like sugar and things in your body produces insulin from your pancreas, which then takes that, kind of sucks it up for lack of a better word, and uses it for fats, for glucose energy in your body. Anything that's excess goes into fat storage, okay? So when your body becomes insulin resistant, it means that your bodies no longer are properly responding to insulin signals. So this causes your body to store excess glucose as fat instead of using it for energy. So also just like a little side point here, I don't know if I have any gals here with PCOS, but a big reason why women have issues with weight loss if they have PCOS is from insulin resistance. And there's a whole science about that. You start to have a lot of kind of like insulin type of things like within your ovaries. And so that's what happens when you start to get that like that pain and cramping. Just a little side note, if you're someone who has PCOS and you have issues with weight loss, insulin resistance is like your number one, which is like one of your number one culprits, which is why they put you on metformin, FYI. So how insulin resistance develops and impacts weight loss. So chronic stress and high cortisol, we're seeing a theme here. These raised blood sugar it leads to overproduction of insulin. Okay, so then you have that insulin spike from just being stressed, that glucose spike just from being stressed, eating high sugary foods. You're overproducing insulin, and then over time, basically your cells just stop responding. So that's what happens. So they're just like, oh, we don't know what to do with this because we're having like so much thrown at us. It starts to get this insulin resistance. So frequent blood sugar spikes, eating high carb meals without balancing them with protein and fiber. This leads to insulin surges, which then promote that fat storage, right? Because it doesn't know what to do with it. So it's just going to put it into fat. And then you get that excess belly fat. So when this is elevated for long periods, your body then stores more fat, particularly around the midsection. Okay. So we're seeing a trend of kind of how this is all related. So how can we improve this? Big one is balancing blood sugar. So you want to have like an even keel. You want your blood sugar to stay nice and even. Of course, you're going to have some spikes here and there, but for the most part, it's this. And when we're talking about like, we're talking about chronic. Like we're not talking about like you're gonna go on a holiday or Christmas time where you have a short period of time of like 3 to 5 days where you're eating the sweets and you're doing that. Okay. That's different. We're talking about like consistently, chronically like spikes like this, like years. So just know that like if you're like, oh, I ate this today, that's not like in the long run, that's not going to make a big difference. It's like if you've been like that for years, that's what's causing the problem. So we can begin to correct it like today. Okay, so timing your carbohydrate intake. So having complex carbs earlier in the day when insulin sensitivity is higher also improves glucose metabolism. Increasing physical activity, again, strength training. And this was a big one for me, post-meal walks. Like, do you guys remember that you probably, I know I did them as when I was a kid. I did not realize from actually like learning from this class about how important that is. So, a couple things that I do to like help with this now and also get my steps in is I do a walk after my lunch. So, I don't usually have the opportunity at night. I'm going to start in the summer again, though. I don't usually have the opportunity in the morning because I'm off to work. However, I have the opportunity at lunch. So at lunchtime, I take that 15 minutes that I have left over. I do a walk. I don't scroll, and I get outside, which helps with your stress, lowering cortisol. You're having that post-meal walk, and you're getting the steps in for the day. So if you're working 8 hours and full time, this is a way to like get it all in your lunchtime walk. Okay. That'll help improve insulin sensitivity and prevent blood sugar spikes. So, also supporting gut health, which is a big one. So having that balanced microbiome helps in insulin sensitivity, such in pre and probiotics, which are essential, which I always recommend our green synergy. I love the green gut glow, but it's just more convenient for the green synergy. However, I still use the green gut glow myself most often. It's our greens, it's our gut health, it's our collagen, which all help promote gut health. Greens gives you that inulin, gives you like that good burst of nutrients. Our gut health has pre and probiotics in it, digestive enzymes, which help repair your gut microbiome. And then the collagen, which is our skin elixir, actually gives you that drinkable skincare, but it also helps repair your gut lining. So collagen is like the collagen builder in that is like so essential to your gut health as well. And it helps, of course, with your skin, like I said. So it's just like a mirror, like wonderful. I recommend it to everyone, hands down. And if you are someone who's like, I want the one and done package, the Green Synergy is a godsend. I usually take that on the go traveling, or I pop a few in my bag. If I miss it in the morning, then I just have it at work, usually around like 9:30. Okay, so gut health and weight often can be like our missing link. So your gut will play a crucial role in digestion, metabolism, hormone balancing, and immune function. So when your gut bacteria are out of balance, it impacts everything from nutrient absorption to inflammation and even weight gain. So what are some signs that you have an unhealthy gut which can affect your weight loss? So chronic bloating and digestive discomfort, frequent sugar cravings, unexplained weight gain or difficulty losing weight, fatigue and sluggishness in your metabolism, inflammation and food tolerances. And what are some ways that we can really optimize that? And the big one is just having the pre and probiotics, working on your stress level, getting the exercise in, doing the walking. Like, yeah, I feel like it's all the things that our grandparents probably did. that as the generations have worn out, have like kind of like evolved, we're now coming back to and realizing that they were probably really onto something, right? Growing their own food, eating whole foods, staying away from the processed foods, being out at night and doing things like not on screens. Like we're really, I feel like we're in this generation of like getting back to like our where our grandparents were. And boy, oh boy, I would give anything to be back there with them. Let me tell you. So, anyways, these are essential, provide probiotics and digestive enzymes to support your gut function. Eating fiber, I feel like fiber is kind of that F word that we don't talk about enough. Fiber feeds good bacteria and promotes healthy digestion. You need at least, I think it's 30 grams a day of fiber, and it's so crucial to your gut health. Like we talk about protein and protein and protein, but I feel like fiber is like it's like the missing F word. Okay, like we need to also be focusing on that, and that comes from fruit and vegetables. And also, if the fiber, there's a fiber type of inulin, which is in the greens and the green synergy. So you're getting it from there too. Reducing processed foods and added sugars, which disrupt the gut microbiome and also encourage the growth of harmful bacteria. Okay. So the next one is hormone balancing and thyroid health, which I think is probably this stuff is it's so delicious. I just like I crave it at night. Pink lemonade, FYI for everyone, is now a permanent product, so you don't have to hoard it. You can order it every month on your order with your Green Synergy and your Fizz, okay? So hormone balance and thyroid health. So hormones really regulate every function in the body, and the cortisol is also a hormone. And imbalances can severely impact metabolism. Probably one of the most big ones is our thyroid. It plays a major role in regulating your metabolism, regulating energy and fat burning. And when this function is compromised, weight loss will become extremely difficult. So, how does this impact weight? So, cortisol, again, chronic stress raises cortisol, which leads to weight gain around your belly. It causes insulin. Insulin resistance promotes fat storage and inflammation. There's leptin. This is a hormone. Oh, sorry, I'm just actually talking about hormones now. Leptin, this is a hormone that regulates hunger and imbalances, which can cause overeating. And then thyroid hormones, which is your T3 and T4, which is a sluggish thyroid, will slow metabolism and make it harder to burn fat. And when it comes to like thyroid hormones, that's definitely something that if you have any questions, if you're suffering from anything that just seems a bit off, it's always good to ask your doctor just to do some blood work and run a panel and just check out what it is. So, how can you support your hormone balance? Big one is managing stress, like we're talking here, using the adaptogen like ashwagandha, helping lower cortisol, having your thyroid function, eating the balanced diet, protein, healthy fats, monitoring it. So if anything seems off, you definitely get your thyroid tested. Even if you're experiencing things like anxiousness, anxiety, like for me, honestly, that's what people, I was like, oh, it's got to be my thyroid. My thyroid was totally fine. And when my hair was falling out, my hairdresser was like, it's got to be your hormones. Oh, my hormones were totally fine. It was 100% my stress level. Okay. So sometimes we overthink like we don't think about something like that that's going on in our lives because we're just so used to kind of like it happening. I hope this just gives you a little bit of awareness. It's just to kind of like take a check-in and see kind of like like what's going on. And it's hard to do an audit on yourself. But I think if you think about it enough, like I did, and realize that I'm just like always going, that's really what the cause was. Okay, so what are some ways that we can take action today? So now that we have at least a better understanding of how stress, gut health, and your hormones can impact weight loss, here's a couple things that you can do next. And I'm probably going to sound like a grandma, but really, they're so true. One is prioritizing your sleep. 7 to 9 hours, no phone for, I say, 30 minutes before bed, no phone for 30 minutes when you wake up. You want to give your cortisol a chance to just like relax at night. And that's going to help you sleep better because cortisol actually blocks melatonin. And so that's why I'm going to actually do a sleep one in a couple weeks. So that's why if you're somebody who's taking melatonin and it's not doing any of the things, it's because cortisol blocks melatonin and it gets really disrupted. I'm going to talk about that in a couple weeks. Balancing blood sugar, so protein and fiber with every meal to support insulin function. Specifically, do not skip breakfast. We have a wonderful essential meal replacement that if you are someone who skips breakfast, undereats breakfast, which is what I was doing, I thought that a bowl of oatmeal was fine. I'm getting in, I'm getting in the fiber, I'm getting in, but no protein. So no wonder in, like half an hour to an hour, you're feeling hungry again. You need that protein to sustain you, particularly in the morning. I tell people shoot for 30, like 20 to 30 grams per meal. And I try to kind of like make my morning meal like as heavy as possible with protein. Usually I try to hit around 45 grams. I do that with one essential meal shake and yogurt with actually essential meal protein in it, usually the vanilla. And then I just add some berries in it. Okay. And that's I'm serious. Like if I have that, I'm good till about 12:30, and I usually would have it around 7:30. So prioritize protein, support gut health. Take your pre and probiotics in your Green Gut Glow or your Green Synergy. That helps with digestive enzymes and helps promote digestion, reducing bloating. Lower your stress naturally using the stress reducing supplements like the Intercom to help regulate cortisol and incorporating the movement. So, strength training, daily walks to help improve your metabolic health, and just honestly taking it easy. And I know that's really hard for us as women who are busy doing all the things, but my goal here, and I have said this before, it's not necessarily to tell you to slow down because I know a lot of people are like, oh, I gotta slow down. And I kind of feel the same way, but it's to have support so you can feel as good as you can doing what you need to do. Okay. So I hope that you love this class. I hope that you can take something away, and that I hope that by addressing these core areas for you, you can finally work with your body rather than against it to lose weight and feel better than ever. So if you in particular and have any questions about any of the supplements that I recommended here tonight, I'd love to help you. We run a really awesome Thrive Club it kind of rotates like every 30 days. You can jump in at any time, which actually has professionals like myself. We have a personal trainer who's totally awesome, other pharmacists who have contributed to this, who talk about sleep and immunity, someone that talks about skincare. It's a well-rounded kind of like support system for you and community that is going to help you achieve all of this, and you can do multiple rounds of it. What you need to start is just some nutritional support, and if that's something you would love to do, I can help you get going. So, okay, so with that, I'm going to say goodnight. I did about 26 minutes, which was perfect. Thank you so much, Jen, for tuning in. And if anyone has any questions, please just reach out. So I'm going to stop the recording.